إني ألقى الإناس في صومي وصلاتي.
For brotherhood, he's defined it in such a beautiful way that there is no ambiguity. We can all understand what brotherhood should be and what level we should be at and how we should treat one another. He said, لا يؤمن أحدكم. To draw our attention, he said, you don't have iman, you don't believe. None of you believe until you love for your brother what you love for yourself. How beautifully put. Until you can love for your brother what you want for yourself, you haven't achieved iman. Your iman is not perfect, it's not complete yet. It's partial, it's defective. There are flaws within your iman if you cannot love for your brother what you want for yourself. Imam Jurjani, the great linguist, faqih, he said it is the cornerstone of the Islamic way of life. It's the foundation. And Ibn Rajab, he gave us 4 hadith from Imam Nawawi's 40 hadith collection. He said there are 4 hadiths which form the foundation, which should be the basis of the Islamic akhlaq, the shakhsiyah of the believer. The personality of the believer should be built upon 4 hadith. And I'll just briefly touch on them so that for our benefit today. The first one, he said, من كان يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر فليقل خيرا أو ليصمت. He said, whoever believes in Allah and the last day should say something good or remain silent. Sounds very simple. But in this day and age, of the social media age, if you don't say something, you become a nobody. If you're not constantly putting out stuff, then you become a nobody, you are forgotten. So you got to keep on saying, if it doesn't have to mean anything, you just got to be in people's face. And the most popular person, who is the most popular person? The one who makes the most noise. But remember, my brothers, as believers, the ones who have understanding of this dunya and the akhirah, everything you say, everything you write is against you. It's been recorded, and you would have to provide an account. And this is why this has been included as one of the foundational hadiths of our akhlaq, of our personality. Say something good or remain silent. And if you ever go on any corporate leadership courses, one of the things they say, use silence to draw attention. Silence gives you power. The people who talk the most aren't the most powerful people in the room. The one who listens, one who remains quiet, understands the issue, then says something and changes the whole setting. Those are the powerful people. Those are the ones who make impact. Those are the ones who people listen to, not the ones who keeps on talking, yapping away. In the end, people figure you out, that you're just hot air. There's nothing of substance there. The second one, we move on. من حسن الإسلام المرء تركه ما لا يعني. Part of the perfection of our iman, of Islam, is leaving what does not concern us. And again, my brothers, all very simple hadith, but we'll find most people are prying into other people's lives. They want to know what other people are doing. That's why you'll find the magazines which talk about celebrity are the most popular magazines. The most popular post is what other people have done. We want to know. And Islam is telling us, it's not of your concern. It's not going to benefit you. Have you sorted your priorities out? Do you know what you have to do? What concerns you yourself? Have you fulfilled your right to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Have you done your prayers? Have you fulfilled your rights to your parents? Are you studying to your best of your ability? Are you trying to achieve ihsan? Are you working hard enough? Are you progressing your career? Are you looking after the affairs of your community? Are you concerned about what's happening in Gaza? We have so many responsibilities. And if you really understand your responsibilities, you would not have time for anybody else. And ultimately, my brothers, what have you prepared for your meeting, the ultimate meeting with your Lord? If you think about that, would you have time to be concerned about what other people are doing? And the third hadith which forms this personality, a man came to Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam and he said, advise me. And Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam told him, La taghdab. The man thought, I've come to the messenger of Allah and he's telling me 2 words, not good enough. So he said, advise me. Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam told him, La taghdab. Man wasn't satisfied. He said, advise me, give me something more, bigger. Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam told him, La taghdab. Do you know why he kept on telling him, La taghdab? Because this man had an anger issue. And he says, don't get angry. He used to lose his temper. And if you think about it, my brothers, when you deeply think about these hadiths, so many relationships are destroyed. So many children lose their parents because fathers or mothers lose their temper and there's a divorce at the end of it. So many people lose their friends. So many people lose their relationship with their parents, with their brothers, with their siblings. So many people ruin their careers because they can't control themselves. They can't control their anger. They can't control themselves. Road rage is a modern phenomenon. Normal Abdullah, very calm guy. Assalamu alaikum, brother, how are you? Put him behind the wheel and you cross him. Abdullah becomes somebody else. Abdullah suddenly becomes a monster. And this is what happens, my brothers. Anger allows shaitan to come in. Anger lowers the intellect, allows shaitan to take over. And that's why calm, simple Abdullah becomes incredible Haque in the car. That's what happens, my brothers. Anger. This is why Rasulullah kept on telling this man, La taghdab, la taghdab, la taghdab. Because this man, he didn't need to go and pray. He didn't need to go and look after his prayer. He didn't need to go and do jihad. Because other people were advised to do these things. This man's advice was La taghdab. Because that's the best advice he needed at that time. And the fourth one, my brothers, the fourth which forms that four-cornered personality block is La yu'minu ahadukum hatta yuhibba li akhi ma yuhibbu li nafsi. None of you believe until you love for your brother what you love for yourself. That's the fourth hadith which forms the personality of the believers. And when he says, La yu'minu ahadukum, none of you have belief, it's like the one who's fornicating. While he's fornicating, he has no iman. The one who is drinking alcohol, while he's drinking, he has no iman. While the thief is engaged in stealing, he has no iman. It is on that level. You don't lose your iman. You don't become a kafir. But what happens is that you have a defective iman. Your iman needs work. You've just said the shahada, you've just entered the deen, but iman has not fully penetrated your heart. So my brothers, I'll give you a simple example of brotherhood, what it means from the time of the Sahaba. When the people came from Mecca to Medina, and the people of Medina opened their doors, and they welcomed all the people, what we call today refugees, immigrants. Bad terms these days. They came in from Mecca into Medina, and the people of Medina opened their doors. If you think about it, my brothers, the people of Medina, most of them, other than maybe a dozen, met Rasulullah at night for a brief moment when they gave the bayah, when they pledged to Rasulullah. But most of them never met the Prophet. Like we have never met the Prophet. Never, until the day of Qiyamah, we'll never meet the Prophet. That's how it was. They never met the Prophet before then. But they opened the doors. How did that happen? It happened because before then, Rasulullah sent one man, Musa ibn Umair, to go to Medina and to teach the people about Islam. And he taught them from the Quran. And they understood very quickly what brotherhood meant. So when these people came, they opened their doors. They gave half their wealth. They opened their homes. They gave half their farms. They shared. And in that, there's a story. There was a man came to Rasulullah and he said, I don't have anything to eat. I've not eaten for days. And Rasulullah went to his house and he asked his wife, do we have anything to eat? And the wives, the mothers of the believers, they said, we have nothing other than water. So Rasulullah made a wider appeal. And he said to the Muslims, can anyone take this man to their homes and give him some food? Abu Talha al-Ansari volunteered, radiallahu anhu. He volunteered. But when he went home and he asked his wife, what do we have? And the wife, she said, we have just enough food to feed our children. So my brothers, put yourself in this predicament. You've now accepted a guest. You've come home and you realize there's not enough food. Only food enough for your children. What do you do then? What would you do, my brothers? Bayana, okay, you can answer. But answer in your mind, what would you do? I will tell you what you would do. You will turn around to that brother and say, my sincerest apology, my brother. I can't entertain you tonight. We don't have enough food. This is what you will do, my brothers. But you know what Abu Talha al-Ansari did? He said to his wife, put the children to sleep. Tell them what they will eat later. We will dim the light. We will sit in the corner and we will pretend to eat. We will move a hand in the bowl as if we are eating. And we will give all the food to the guest. That's what happened, my brothers. That's what happened. That's brotherhood. That's Iman. That's people who understood what it means to look after one another. And you know what happened, my brothers, the next day? When Abu Talha al-Ansari met Rasulullah Rasulullah was smiling and he said, Allah is so happy with you. And he's even revealed an ayat for you. وَيُؤْثِرُونَ عَلَىٰ أَنفُسِهِمْ وَيُؤْثِرُونَ عَلَىٰ أَنفُسِهِمْ وَلَوْ كَانَ بِهِمْ خَصَاصَةٌ. That they preferred others above themselves, even though they were in need. Even though they were in most need, they preferred others. وَمَنْ يُوقَ صُحَّ نَفْسِهِ فَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُفْلِحُونَ. And whoever is saved from the selfishness of the soul. You know this ayat, my brother, is so beautiful. It's not saying you are selfish, like you acted in a selfish way. It is the selfishness which appears first in the heart. He said the one who can control that at that point, when he appears, he says, I can't give, I don't have enough. You know that feeling that comes before you even don't do the act, the feeling comes first, isn't it? Allah is saying in this ayat, the one who can control that is the one who is successful. The one who can control the stinginess of the heart, when he appears first in your heart and it causes your hand to be withdrawn and back in your pockets, I don't have enough. I'm just going to not look at that poor person. I'm not going to look at those people of Gaza. I'm just going to turn the other way and I'm going to just pretend I didn't see anything. Allah is saying, if you can control that feeling, then you are successful because the rest will flow. So my brothers, just reflect on those points, on those stories. Time is short, my brothers, and I will say, just to go through, my brothers, there are some obstacles to brotherhood. When you have jealousy, hasad, when you're jealous of your brother, and the scholars have defined jealousy as, the blessings that come from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on your brother, and you see those blessings and you say, I want Allah to take them away. That's what jealousy really is. You're saying, that brother is blessed with amazing looks. I want those looks to be taken away. That brother is blessed with wealth. I want that taken away because I don't like that. I can't accept it because I don't have it. Or even though you may have it, you don't want others to have it. That's what jealousy is, my brothers. Jealousy, where there is jealousy, there can't be brotherhood. Because the two are conflicting. They fight one another. They can't be in the same space. Moving on, my brothers. Pride and 𝗝𝘂𝗺𝗁, arrogance. When you're arrogant, then you can't. When you look down upon your brother, you look down upon others, you think you're better than them. How can you have brotherhood? And one of them, my brothers, the modern phenomenon which has been introduced into the Muslim world is one of nationalism. Nationalism, asabiya, as they used to call it back in the days, tribalism. But this is more than tribalism. This is asabiya. This is people who, based on land, based on race, culture, they say we are one people and everybody else. So this is why, my brothers, when we see Gaza and we see 2 billion Muslims all sitting around Gaza, why can't they help? Because the Saudi, he says, I'm from Saudi Arabia. The Egyptian says, I'm from Egypt. The Pakistani says, I'm from Pakistan. The Bangladeshi says, I'm from Bangladesh. And what the Europeans have done, they've taken a Muslim problem, made it into an Arab problem, then made it into a Palestinian problem. They have cut us off and said, you all remain in your space. Because this is not your problem anymore. It's the Palestinian problem. So my brothers, asabiya, nationalism, and the most unfortunate thing, my brothers, is that every year we celebrate nationalism. We wave our flags. This is something that the Europeans have done to us. They have carved our lands up. They have carved up Algeria. They have carved up Morocco. They have carved up Egypt. They have made Jordan. They have made Saudi Arabia. They have made all of these borders, Pakistan, Bangladesh, all of these borders, my brothers, if you trace the history, it's not our doing. These were put on us, and we celebrate that catastrophe. Where we were unified, we celebrate with flags and anthems. We need to realize, my brothers, these are our sources of our weakness. These are barriers to our brotherhood. And how can we establish the sunnah? How can we establish the hadith when we have barriers in our ways? We've got to remove them, my brothers. Gaza should remind us that it is time, my brothers. We are very late. We need to remove these barriers and we need to unify. And that's when our strength will truly be manifested. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Sallallahu ala sayyidina.
في صومي وصلاتي ودعائي للرحمن وجميع الطاعات هل لي من الرحمن فيضا من البركات أنجو